Welcome to another video of Lord PeteyTV Plays. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through a couple of dungeons here, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what we do in certain situations and how we kind of fix them and went through it, how the bosses are dealt with, and so on and so forth. We're going to be dealing with multiple different classes. I would say it's going to be up to 5 or 6 different classes, but as of right now, we're prioritizing Druid and Monk, or I should say Balanced Druid and Brewmaster Monk. So please check us out. We're going to be doing a lot of other keys for other classes too. So we'll see you all soon. So we're into week 7 right now of Dragonflight, and this is, a couple of our runs we did. I'm going to be ending up giving you keys on, the Druid, on the Monk, on the Priest, and, kind of just what we ended up doing throughout the whole entire time on what we ended up doing to kill bosses and so on and so forth. So and situations that we had in Galakron. Thanks for stopping in with our Monk. Now, I was tanking it because we wanted to do it quickly, and this is a 19, so Dak was trying to get his dagger, and I'm trying to sit there, and I'm trying to still get that stinking trinket. So we wanted to kind of go through it kind of quickly, so we figured this was the quickest way to do it. And when we went through, I tried to pull as much as I possibly could in the beginning, lust, and continue forward. Our luster did not lust, so we ended up taking the lust into the first boss. Now, I prefer that we end up having lust for the first pull of the dungeon, and then followed by the third boss, because I feel that Blighted Galakron is actually harder than Timeways. So it was just something, that I'm used to and kind of want to go with. But anyway, here, not there, we kind of just did our regular rotation, and we kind of went right into the boss very, very easily. Now, the boss is kind of on an easier side of things because it's fortified weak. It's not anything crazy. So what we try to make sure we do is we try to make sure that we're DPSing appropriately. We try to make sure that we're dealing with the ads appropriately, and we're trying to deal with the leaps appropriately and everything like that. Ads, what am I talking about? There's no ads on this. I don't know why I thought the balls were ads for some strange reason. But anyway, we kind of deal with it and making sure I'm using my defensives when the Chrono Shear happens. I try to have 2 stacks of a brew, so it's about 80%, and then I use a Celestial Brew on top of that to defend myself from that. And then I try to make sure that I have my heal available, so I'm pretty much healing myself to full, getting rid of that Chrono Shear so that the healer does not have to worry about it.
Do what?
Me having to deal with Chrono Shear. No, Matt, don't die. What's up, Angry?
Yeah, he did. Going to disenchant him.
Are you looking to support the channel? Please make sure you go to our merch store. The link is in the comments below. We have mugs, shirts, lots of cool things that we will love you to purchase and be wearing and supporting the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you so much. If you ever see me doing these pulls, I kind of do them in a really, really weird way. I kind of make sure that I pull that coalescence time on the right, and then I follow it up by picking the anomaly up. It does a lot of damage. I know that Ash can handle it, so that's why I really wasn't worried. But I do it that way because I can end up taking those guys down and not having to worry about them with the ads on the sides. I feel it's a little bit safer because sometimes when you're ending up pulling up too many mobs at the same time, the group's just going to wipe anyway from it. So doing that, I can kind of hold it and I can kind of deal with it a little easier, and then I can just pull the sides and we have less problems with it. I probably can pull a lot more with it, but I think that because it is the fort week, it was just safer to do it that way.
Reason.
As always, just wanted to make sure you know we partner with Sub2R for our gamer glasses, our green screens, our camera mounts, our cameras, all of those enjoyable objects that we end up using while streaming for our long gaming sessions to help increase our quality of our streams. So make sure you use Lord PeteyTV at sub2r.com when you end up going there and purchasing some of this amazing gear. As always, during the Manifested Time Way, I just kind of make sure I get in there, pull the boss first, and I don't move nearly as much as I used to in the past. I only move pretty much for the fragments of time, and I try to make sure that I stay in the dark side as much as I possibly can when the pulse, the chrono fades, ends up coming out. So that's usually the biggest things that I try to do throughout this whole entire fight. No matter what class you are, if you do not have the dot for the chrono fade, stand in the dark. It just makes your healer's life easier. It just makes sense. If you end up putting yourself in a location where you're not, it's just going to hurt you. And like as you saw there, Dak just took a lot of damage while standing like in the white side when the other person got cleansed. And that's something that you really only can work with if you end up having like a group that has worked together and knows what's going on with the other people.
Still here? Ready? You shall not interfere with our infinite God. I have tracked the influence to a place, a moment where I dare not tread. I shall be with you, Princess, but not as you know me now. I have faith in you, my friends, and even should yours otherwise, know that all is not lost.
We ended up using the mount skip there just because it's easier to not deal with them there. I feel like it's easier to use the shroud later on in the dungeon, so we end up doing that there. This is, like I said, continuing to say this is fortified, so we end up splitting this group in two. I know Ash can probably handle it, but I don't know if this pug mage can handle the pulse. So just to play it safe, we ended up splitting it and kind of just continuing forward from there. It's just easier for me and for them.
I'm gonna have to call the urgent care tomorrow. I'm gonna have to definitely call him. I feel like I get sick, right? Like a couple of months after, like I still feel like I have like this stress on my chest for breathing, and because it's an effect of long-term COVID. So I'm gonna have to call him up for no steroid. Hit. With my parents ending up having COVID now. That means I'm gonna have no babysitter coverage all week. Which means for the first little bit of every single day, I'm gonna have to have.
Make sure you end up checking out our other channels. We have a sister channel called Gaming Fire with Lord PeteyTV, which we end up giving you some specific gaming news that is popping up here and there throughout the whole entire week. And then make sure you're also checking out our Stories with Lord PeteyTV, where we end up giving you little short stories that he's handwritten throughout the whole entire week, which we think you'll greatly appreciate. Thank you so much, and check those out. And hit the subscribe button here when you are ready. So how do you keep yourself hydrated over those long gaming sessions? Here at Lord PeteyTV, we end up using Rogue energy drinks. That is what we use here. We end up drinking those throughout the whole entire sessions. Please make sure you go there and use Lord PeteyTV at checkout when you end up purchasing some of those amazing drinks. I'm not going to talk really much about Blooded Galakron because we do have a video out there for him, but I will say this, just continuing to make sure while you're doing this, you end up taking the corrosions properly. You make sure you're lusting in P2, not in P1 or P3. P3, I can understand it. If you want to do more AoE and you want to do more damage, you can do it there. But most people, they end up having problems with the necrotic waves. So you really, really want to be careful there. As we're going through the boss, though, itself, you just kind of want to take, your mental note of what's going on. Making sure you're passing that, corrosion over to the tank with at least 10 seconds left on the timer so they can take that blight reclamation very easily. And you want to make sure when you're in phase 3 and you're passing that orb back and forth, you're doing it every 10 seconds. I recommend that as kind of a minimum number time. It just makes it easier for you and it makes it easier for the healer and the team. So just keep a thought when you're going through this. I told the guy to lust. I told this dude to lust in part 2 and he decided to not lust in part 2.
Do you want me to the drum?
And then he died.
Get his ass up and then let's see. I don't do any dungeons. This is my first day. I know the difference between effectiveness and dungeons.
What server are they from?
Borealis.
That's not Paralysis.
He is from Borealis.
That's not the server. That was rough, dude.
I don't know what server he's in. Now I'm because I'm not in there. All his saves and yields are in either Chinese, Japanese, one, two, maybe Korean.
Exactly. If I could see the lettering, I could make copy and paste for you guys.
Actually, come here.
Oh, he is lost.
Yeah, in P2. In P2. I mean, in
He
P3.
listed at the start of P3.
Yep.
Which this fight, it's more effective to get him out of P2 than it is to get him out of P3. So I take the orb from Pete before it gets my control.
Mm-hmm. This is the first time. Away from the breakdown door. If you cloak, does that block the microphone? I'm not sure. No. Oh, you know what I just remembered? The Urgent Care Liaison Summit, right? They have 24/7 doctors. Wonder. Well, it's not even gonna be questions right now. When my wife heard about my parents having COVID, she's like, maybe you don't have to work this week. Extended shit. Alright, you ready, Tread? Go for it. So, the Titan's puppets have come to face me. 20 seconds.
As you can see, when we go through that shroud, we end up making sure we break to the left or right so we don't accidentally get knocked into that last pack. But you know, this Galakron is very easy in my opinion, now that everyone kind of knows generally what to do with them. The only things I will make sure I tell you about it is you make sure, you know, that extinction blast, when it goes off, everyone gets into the orb at the end. Even if you have a dead person, make sure you res them, because if you don't, you're pretty much dead. While you're going through all this, you make sure that you're, you know, dealing as much damage as possible. In the phase when you have the Earth Surge, make sure you end up going to the end of the red circle so you have as much time possible to dodge. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it really wasn't that difficult, because Fortified, I feel, is very easy to deal with as long as you have people that are interrupting properly, and you can go forever. So it works out pretty dang well in my book. No blast, and you can just straight up DPS the hell out of her, out of the boss.
Like the Razan bug?
Yeah. And Ash, if you want to try it too, you can try it also. I don't know who it'll target.
See, but my healing numbers, though.
I mean, you're only doing 800k. Why are you complaining?
It's fun getting the Chromie heals, because then my numbers go off the charts for no reason.
Well, don't matter. Probably got one more rotation. Only 84.
Oh shit, that was my bad. I just ate that spike.
Okay. You just gotta kill him, get it out. .2%. Thank you so much for taking your time out and checking out the amazing videos that we are ending up producing here. Now, just a reminder, we end up putting videos out throughout the whole entire week involving our Mistweaver Monk, our Brewmaster Monk, our Boomkin Druid, our Guardian Druid, our Combat Rogue, and many other classes throughout the whole entire week. But please make sure you come and check us out. We are doing this every single week, live on twitch.tv, every single Monday through Friday. Please come check us out. Subscribe to our YouTube page here and our sister pages. And if you're looking to support the channel, you know where to find it. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic rest of your day.